disclaimer first that I am not judging anyone who buys a lot of books. Why would I? Well, absolutely, what would be the point of that? You do what you want with your life. That's great, buy books. What? I'm not, these are just my opinions about the library and how amazing it is. Doesn't mean I don't buy books too. What am I doing? So it's just that I get this feeling every time I go to the library. I get this smile on my face when I think about the library, and I've just got this list of reasons in my head about why I love the library so much and kind of why I've stopped buying as many books and when I buy books, because I don't go for buying the book straight away, I go for looking at it in the library first. But there are certain books that I do go for buying, and I kind of have it organised in my head. I'm just going to kind of try and talk about it today, but first I'm going to start with reasons why I love the library so much. The first reason is the most obvious one, and that is it's free! The library is free! You don't have to pay for any of the books. The most you have to pay is probably for the parking at the car park near the library, or unless you walk, in which case you're on the home stretch, mate. No money is spent there. Well, maybe you have to pay for the bag to carry your books in, but that's reusable. You can take away as many, up to 20 in my county, books as you want, and it doesn't matter. There's no guilt or pressure to read those books. You take them out, you take them back, you can take them out again, you can renew them online, you can do what you want with those books, but you didn't pay for them, you don't have to keep them, there's no pressure to read them. It's really great fun. You get to look through the shelves and browse to your heart's content, and it's such a lovely atmosphere in there for doing that, you know, discover new books and everything. And you know, I really do love the feeling of going home with a big bag of library books, even if I'm not going to read all of them, because I never read all of the books I take out from the library, but it's having that choice there. And it's like people who buy books, a lot of books on their TBR because they like the choice. I get that, I like the choice, but from the library instead. Now the third thing is try before you buy. I like to do this. If I think I'm going to find a new favourite author, I'll try one of their books from the library first, and then if I really love them and, you know, want to build up that author collection, then I'll probably buy the books instead. Because there are certain authors like Lynn Llewellyn and Ellen Kushner and that I like to own the books of, and that's great. You know, actually also the library doesn't have every book that you want, it just doesn't. I just think it feels really satisfying to use the machines that they have to go boop, boop, boop. I like it a lot. That's just a point in itself. The library has the just returned section where you put your books once you've returned them, and that is a great place to look for books that people have taken out and reading, and the books that are popular and are in circulation a lot. The just returned shelf can be your best friend. Another great point I love about the library is that you have to visit frequently. It's like the library loop. It's like the curse, not a curse because it's amazing, of the library. Once you take out some books, you have to take them back within a certain amount of time, which means that you have the chance to take out some more books, and then you have to take those back. And it's like a constant loop, the library loop. It's amazing. Once you're in, seriously. Go to the library once, and then you're in it forever. The atmosphere in libraries is amazing. The people who say libraries are dead are obviously the ones that haven't been in one, because if you go into your local library, you will see how busy it is. I can hardly get to a machine at mine, and I only live in a small town. It's just so great to feel the atmosphere and people around you. I love people watching in the library because there are people who are more hardcore than me. I've seen people walk into the library with a crate of books to return, and I've seen them then fill that crate again and take it out. I've seen people with lots of shopping bags full. Just, there are some hardcore library users out there. Another thing that I really love, and it's the fact that I like to buy second-hand books too as well, is the book that you're holding in your hand, thinking about the journey that it's been on. How many people have read it? How many people have really enjoyed it? Are you holding in your hand someone who's like, that was their favourite book of the year? Who knows? It's not always nice to think too much about it, especially when you find marks or little food stains. That's not nice, and I wouldn't take out 50 Shades of Grey for kind of that reason, do you get me? The library is a place that you can sit and spend time, so not only are you shopping for your books for free, but you get to sit down and enjoy them too. You can start reading them, you can sit there all day reading them. You can't sit in a bookshop and read the book all day, it would be a bit strange. Well, I suppose you could, but don't. I don't think it's advised. Try out new things, try out new genres without any kind of pressure on you to enjoy them. Get books that you want to read but you don't really think that you'll want to keep. I love doing this, especially with young adult. I have no interest in owning young adult books, but sometimes I feel like reading them, so it's a great place to go for that. Because I'm not someone who always wants to read a book that I think I'll adore. Sometimes I look at a book and think, I'll probably give you a 3 stars, I still want to read you. The library is a great place to get those books. It's also really great if there's a really long series that you want to get into, like the Discworld series, but obviously you don't really have the room for that. And I think the main point for me about the library is that I'm such a bloomin' changeable reader. I just change the genres that I love and the things I feel like reading all the time, and it can come from nowhere. I used to read classics all the time, then I discovered YA and I was like, I really like this, and then suddenly I was like, no, fantasy, but then it went into science fiction, and now I want to read every Roman historical fiction I can get my hands on. So the library honestly really helps me out a lot by not buying loads of books that I then don't really feel like reading. I think that's it. I don't like to feel overwhelmed by something. I don't like to feel like I have a lot of something. I like it more when I have a little of something, then again a little more. That's just the way I like to do it. If I had a big TBR, I'd feel really overwhelmed. It's great that other people don't, and I think it's fantastic if you have shelves and shelves of books that you want to read and you haven't read yet and you feel great about that. That's fantastic, but I couldn't do that. It causes me I don't like it. You know, sometimes when people do haul after haul after haul of books, I feel like, oh my god, I'm owning so many books, but it works for you and that's great. So if I want to buy a book now, so I'm not on a book buying ban, but if I want to buy a book now, then I usually put it in my shopping basket online for a while, see if I'm still in the mood for it, see if I can get it for a reduced price. I don't like paying full price for books, unless I'm in a shop, in which case that's fine. I just kind of wait around a bit, I see if my library has it, I see what the Kindle price is, but again, I don't like paying a lot for Kindle books, just on principle. And then if I still fancy reading it, then I buy it, and I kind of keep a bit of control with that, with the amount of books that I've been reading and buying. It just manages to stay the same, just without having to try hard at it, which is really great. If Lynn Llewellyn wrote another book, I'd buy the book straight away. If Ellen Kushner wrote another book, I'd buy that book straight away. There are certain authors now that I'm getting into that I'm like, I'm buying that book. But for others, the library is great because I can read them and then I can say, ta-ra! Oh, but there's still something about buying books, isn't there? About going into the shop and coming out with your bag and keeping it and loving it and putting it there and enjoying looking at it. And that's something that's really great. But for that feeling of when you walk out of a shop with books in a bag, I do it with the library and it works well for me. So those were my thoughts on the library and buying books and just giving you my love of the library, because I do love it and I just felt like this needed a video. Thank you for watching. Do you love the library? What else about the library is particularly fantastic? Tell me down below. Until next time, look in the shadows, guys!